And it's a glorious morning in Gangneung, Korea, this city on the east coast of Korea. Folks off to work here in the morning. The markets are humming, getting ready for the weekend here in Gangneung. It's the venue for the Pacific Asia Curling Championships 2018. This is our venue. It's the Olympic venue, the Gangneung Curling Center, and we are back for the Pacific Asia Curling Championships. We're through the round robin phase. It's time for the playoffs. We're moving inside for our feature game today, the men's semi-final. It is Japan taking on New Zealand. I'm Hans Fraunlab. I'm joined by U.S. Olympian and Swiss Helm. And good morning to you.
Good morning, Hans.
Playoffs, it's a whole new ball game as the athletes enter the arena.
Yeah, it's the only game this morning, and it is for a spot in the gold medal championship game and a guaranteed place at the Men's World Championship.
So lots to play for this morning in Gangneung. Japan taking on New Zealand. Japan top ranked. Players getting ready here before the game. The excitement of a semi-final at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships. Let's meet the teams. Here's Team Japan. At lead is Shinya Abe. Yasumasa Tanida is at second. Tetsuro Shimizu is playing at third. And the skip for Team Japan is Yuta Matsumura. Team New Zealand at lead is Warren Dobson. Anton Hood is at second stone. Simon Nielsen is the third. And New Zealand skipped by Scott Becker. Here's how they got here. There were 9 member associations competing in the round robin phase. 4 of them qualified for the playoffs. China, Japan, New Zealand, and Korea, the playoff teams here at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships. Here are the playoff brackets. Semifinal 1v4 sees China taking on Korea, and semifinal 2 versus 3 ranked is Japan versus New Zealand. The winners will advance to the gold medal game. The losers of the semifinals will play for the bronze medal here at the Gangneung Curling Center. Teams exchanging handshakes, as is customary before the game, and then playoff curling. It's a whole new tournament.
Yeah, it is an exciting game for both these teams. They've worked hard all week to position themselves into the playoffs, and Japan has been the top performing team coming into this game between the two teams. So by virtue of their round robin ranking, they will have the last stone advantage. That means New Zealand, Warren Dobson, they get to throw the stone first, and New Zealand's playing the yellow. Japan will be playing the red stones.
So it's time to get it on. Men's semifinal, Warren Dobson, lead player for New Zealand, gets us underway.
Line's good. Six. Okay, bring him in.
Warren, the veteran in this team.
Make sure he's in. Is he tight? Oh, if he's tight, just leave him tight.
There's either or shots. Tight's good, in's good.
Half in is not ideal. Let's see.
Nice weight,
It's in.
Make that call, boys. Yeah.
Shinya Abe, lead player for Japan. Also the vice skip. He reads the line on the skip stones of Matsumura. He's the veteran in the Japanese team.
Yeah, it's a similar kind of team structure between these two.
It is. Nose hit. Leaves the center guard for New Zealanders to use. Dobson being asked to draw around that center stone.
One's real good, boys. Get hard.
Big brush by Nielsen and Hood.
Get a wee bounce.
Just over curls a fraction.
Yeah,
Two
they
centers
wanted
up.
that stone right behind, but they're okay sitting up short.
Here's the rules of play. It's the 5 rock free guard zone. 8 ends minimum in this playoff round game, but 10 ends scheduled. Each team has 38 minutes of thinking time. Each team has 1 60-second timeout.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Now Japan just touching
Oh,
that
they-
center guard on the come around attempt. Got there a little bit late with the sweeping call. I think they maybe waiting on the weight a little bit.
Yeah, I think they were okay ticking. They did not want to sit just behind the T line. And you heard the sweeper say all the way down the sheet, T line, T line. They couldn't sweep it for weight. It would slip too deep.
Anton Hood, the second player for Team New Zealand.
Whoa. Off, right off. Okay, nice throw in.
Nose hit. These teams met each other very early in the round robin, and Japan prevailed in that game, but the New Zealanders have been improving as the weeks progressed, so we'll see how this team starts today. Here is Yasumasa Tanida, second player for Team Japan.
Whoa. 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 Nice.
Yeah, and I think
Wee bit of weight off. Yeah. Last one was more control.
on paper, I mean, if you look at this on paper and you look at the stats that we have from this entire week of play,
Here's Anton Hood.
Team Japan has been outplaying everyone in the field.
Right.
Outplaying everyone in the field, but it is something different once you get to the playoffs. Which team is going to come up with the big, timely shots?
Like
and
that.
you wonder, is it New Zealand? Here we go in the first end. Fantastic hit and roll from Anton Hood.
Beauty. Yep, one game, one day. New Zealand's played a lot of games, tough teams here. They defeated Korea, another one of the playoff teams, and they took China right down to the end before falling just short against China. So New Zealand's certainly competitive here. Japan, though, the top seeds. Split, nice shot.
Beautiful little play there. Put 2 Japanese stones in the rings, well separated. Get rid of one of the guards in front of the New Zealand stone sitting in the top of the forefoot.
Yep. Bump. Do that, it's fine. Just bumper.
Simon Nielsen throwing third stones. They're on this one right out of hand.
You gotta go real hard!
They got to get by that center guard. They need that guard up there.
No, they wreck on it. Do they get any action on the Japanese
Okay,
stone? They get a
sorry.
bit.
Good luck. It's gotta get out to that stick, mate.
You hear Skip giving giving the advice and the coaching to his third. You got to get out to that stick. That means you've got to slide all the way full to the target. Can't afford to be narrow.
Tetsuro Shimizu. So the end now setting up very well for the Japanese. New Zealand shot rock, but look at all those Japanese stones in the rings, and they've got the hammer here in one.
Try and
Real
get some movement on that.
dangerous time for the Kiwis.
Nose is fine.
Have to hold their nerve.
Bumper.
Again, looking for that down weight on the takeout here from Simon Nielsen.
Yeah, so when they say bumper, that's the amount of momentum they want behind that stone. There's a range of weights they use for takeouts.
This one's going to over curl.
Good luck.
Spills into fourth shot position, so Japan really in a commanding situation now. They can hit and lie 3. Yuta Matsumura holding the target for Tetsuro Shimizu.
Yes, 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 yes.
Japan lies 3. And New Zealand are going to need some kind of a double takeout here, otherwise they're in danger of dropping a 3 here in the first. Scott Becker looking at the angles. The most natural double is this pair here.
Yeah, and
Jam on that one on the side, is it? No, I don't think so. Even if you hit it full and roll over the top.
No, it should go.
Eh?
Side it.
Bit more, Dobby. It's going to curl off this line.
Okay.
This is a situation where you've had a couple of misses in front of you. It's time to pick up your teammates here.
yeah, and this is part of the responsibility for the skip. These last 2 stones of the end, the all-important.
Scott Becker, New Zealand skip.
Yep, hard.
Looking for an inside roll and maybe a double takeout. It's going to go across the top. So it sits in second shot position. Needed to catch that a bit thinner to make the double.
Yeah, it's good he asked for a little bit more ice.
Yeah. Yeah. You often talk, Anne, of committing to the shot, and heard Scott say it'd probably be okay if we kind of hit and roll in front of theirs as well. So he did take the extra ice to increase the chance of making the double, but just got the 1. So Japan's still very much in the driver's seat here in the first.
Yeah, absolutely. Scott Becker's going to need a huge shot, but Yuta Matsumura, it's his turn.
It's all going to depend where this stone comes to rest in terms of what kind of shot the Kiwis are going to have in response. Just off nose, good shot. Leaves it in a good spot as far as Japan goes.
Yeah, it's actually a really good spot.
Tough for New Zealand to make doubles from here. Angles are bad. Good gamble on the hit and the inside roll.
Go for the slash. Try and commit them to 2.
You can hear the thinking
Runs
process of
quite straight here.
Scott Becker.
Yeah, just take him there.
Gonna play the double takeout, hit that one on the brush side.
Yeah, no, this is
Slash
it's
double, try and leave them.
good to hear Scott talking about this runs quite straight here. We have seen some challenging situations with the outside in takeouts on this side of the ice.
And the angles are such, if Scott does make the slash double, might even get a little action off his own stone on the roll by.
Tick it back, freeze it on to the 3rd count shot.
Be a huge bonus. He'd love to get rid of 2.
Whoa, whoa. Close. Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. Go to thin double. Yep, yep, yep. Go,
Well,
Dobby. Go, Dobby. All right.
Trying to get this stone out of the rings. That gets the job done. Nice shot there by New Zealand. Just out of the rings. That's mission accomplished as far as New Zealand goes.
It sure is. It wasn't exactly how they drew it up, but great reaction, great response time here. All of a sudden to go for the thin double right at the end. Sweepers kick in.
Go, Dobby. Go, Dobby.
Dobson sweeping it out of the rings. Remember, they're happy, not happy, but didn't want to give up a 3. Knew that they were probably going to give up a 2.
Yeah, they definitely got into a little bit of trouble once the third shooter's stones went awry for Team New Zealand, and it's leaving this open draw for a second point.
Yuta Matsumura needs full 12-foot to score 2.
His brushers are on it right away. It's pretty common for them. Right away, and then they do a double check on the weight. And then at the end, it's just about maintaining the rock's momentum, not keeping it clean in front of the stone.
No problem there, backing to use, and that's a deuce on the board for Japan in the first. So they convert with the hammer, they get their pair. After one end of play in this men's semi-final, it's Japan 2 and New Zealand no score.
The thing with your handle is you can be full of brush because yours are always curling back all day.
Japan with the pair in the first gives them a 2-0 lead in this 10-end men's semi-final. New Zealand with the last rock advantage here in the second end. Warren Dobson, known as Dobby to his teammates and most of the curling world, being asked to throw a corner guard.
Whoa! Whoa, it's going to bend a long way. Okay, nice weight, Dobby.
Very nice shot.
That's a really good shot. That stone sits in near perfect position for a corner guard on that side of the ice.
Shinya Abe. Japan being the higher ranked team, they were assigned last rock advantage. They had their choice as the higher ranked team, so there was no pre-game draw shot challenge to determine last rock. And Japan taking advantage of that hammer in the first with a nice deuce.
And with the 2-point lead, and they do not have hammer, they're not going to get crazy. Japan could throw a center guard there, but elected to come into the rings, and they're going to try and draw the play right there.
New Zealand looking for a roll behind the corner guard on this takeout attempt by Dobson. Moves to and gets the roll. Very nice shot by Warren Dobson. Double takeout and a roll. Thank you very much, says Dobby.
It gets the bonus with the near perfect roll.
Great shot. Let's have another look. Always looking for the inside roll, but they get the bonus, the double takeout as well. Super.
And now Tanita is being asked to just draw down, freeze onto the corner, maybe tap it a bit. If he should overcurl, he would only tick the guard out in front of the house and knock it out of the way.
He's by the guard.
For you young skips out there interested in learning how to play the 5-rock free guard zone, Matsumura just gave you a little lesson there. Don't throw hit at what you can see, because if you tick the guard, it all goes back.
Clip the guard's fine, you just come over on here. Cool. Try and push that and roll the other side. Hack.
Hack weight being requested by skip Scott Becker. Anton Hood, the 18-year-old.
Clean. Hack. Hack up. Yep. Hack up. Whoa. Whoa. Right bum. Yep.
Good looking shot here.
Yeah, this one is
Is he going to stick around with the
beautifully
roll?
thrown. Look at the separation New Zealand's going to get.
Oh, terrific shot.
Anton.
Terrific shot by Anton Hood. New Zealand lies 2. They've got last rock here in the second.
Of course. This is the kind of shot that Japan just throws with incredible precision and frequency. Cross house double, hits a little thin.
Yeah, goes underneath, leaves the New Zealand stone in the back 12 foot. So a great chance now for the New Zealanders to either go around the corner guard or split the house. They are going to go around the corner guard. I like this call. Here's New Zealand coach Peter Becker. Scott's dad, former New Zealand representative himself.
Top of house is fine, just binding at the front.
Yeah, very storied playing career.
Peter played in the first ever Pacific Asia Curling Championships back in the early 90s.
Tight line. 6-4. Tight line.
Back then, there were only 3 member associations competing. It was Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. So 2 of the member associations that were there at the beginning of this competition out there today, New Zealand and Japan. Trying to get by this corner. Big brush by Dobson. Oh, they just grazed. They just get it
That's good there.
onto the front. Here's Japanese coach Bob Ursel, former world junior champion.
Nice way.
Nice beard, good hair.
Yeah, we've named him coach of the all-hair team.
Yeah. So with that stone feathering the corner guard, not quite wide open, maybe a corner hidden, but definitely accessible for Shimizu.
Curling hard again off that line. Is he by the guard?
Oh, just by. It's going to spill into second shot position, though. So another chance for the New Zealanders to try to get around that corner.
There's great. Half around. Setting second shot up there. Yeah.
Hear the urgency in the voice of Shimizu on the line call. Oh, just by.
Just diving into that corner. And this is one of the key shots of this game for Team New Zealand. We saw Simon Nielsen have a little bit of a struggle in that opening end. Really needs to get some production out of his stones, build his confidence. This team is going to need those third stones to be solidly placed.
They're by. Good looking line. How's the weight? Oh, good looking stone here from Simon Nielsen.
That is exactly the kind of shot that Simon needs.
Perfect.
Move the momentum, get his groove going. Look at that setup.
Yeah. 2 perfectly behind that corner. Matsumura says, draw to the one in the back. So after New Zealand was scrambling a bit in that first end to bail out, now it's Japan's turn to have to pull the chute.
Oh, I was going to say, with all the options being thrown out there, I'm going to guess that Tetsuro Shimizu wants to throw the run.
Yeah.
Double takeout.
He'll want to smoke something.
Yeah, he...
Tetsuro will be thinking, yep, race triple, no problem. Tough shot. Huge weight. Blows it by the New Zealand stone, does open it up, clears away the corner, but New Zealand lies 2. Now it's a decision for New Zealand. Do you protect the pair with a guard or do you split the house? Becker, Shimizu moves back to the sweeping position, they do elect to throw the
about
guard.
there.
I like this call.
Give you a touch more. Yeah.
Challenge for New Zealand, guard placement on this ice that is so quick and so much movement.
Four. Yeah. Coming in.
Well, this is going to mean a reset in the shot plan because this one is a little heavier than guard.
Freeze him to this one.
This one is going to come into the rings.
Whoa. He's round. He's round. Okay. Whoa, whoa. A bit greedy. Okay.
Well, they leave themselves lying three.
Yeah, but
Wasn't what
now
they were looking for.
the run is much shorter. And shot selection pretty automatic for Team Japan now. They're going to play that run. Or actually just a straight triple takeout.
I was going to say. Fractionally off nose on the left-hand side of the top rock, and you kill all three New Zealand shots. Nose probably makes it.
Yeah, and it looks like nose makes it.
Matsumura lines it up.
Hey. Whoa, whoa. Whoa.
This is
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Bit of a misread there.
Yeah, I think they realized it was running really straight and just make sure they got two.
He's good.
Thought it was going to make a late move. It goes across the top and jams that back stone.
Either second shot at the front of the house or deeper in the back of the house. Yeah.
Well, better pick one or the other. That's
Yeah.
about a 6-foot difference.
Well, that's that's almost a 12-foot difference
Yeah.
depending where you are in the rings. So, but off to the side, I'd love to see this one actually deep into the
Yeah.
back of the rings.
Yeah.
Top of the rings leaves Matsumura and Team Japan a kick at the double takeout.
Right. Scott Becker trying to draw the other side of the rings. Ideally, deep in the rings. Needs to be second shot, however.
Bit soft. Keep your eye on that one. 6 tight.
Hood and Nielsen.
Four's good, four's good. Whoa, not too deep.
Well,
It's only got to be second shot.
they are electing to leave it high in the rings.
Whoa, whoa. Back here then.
And it's in no man's land.
Yep, yep.
They leave it on the tee line. They do leave that crosshouse double.
Yeah, it's a tough shot, but the angle's pretty natural for the way Matsumura attempts these. And that was, you've got to wonder, just between those two shots, when Scott Becker said either top of the house or back of the house, look where he ended up.
T-line.
Right in between the two. I think...
They were kind of running out of rings there as well. So the sweepers
Yeah.
couldn't go really hard because they knew that they had to hang around for second shot. And if they swept that one deep, it was curling away from the circles.
Yeah, now this Matsumura up weight.
Down to
Abe
his
on the
knees.
call right away.
There's one. There's the roll crosshouse. He's got a bit of contact and he pushes it out of the rings. Crosshouse double there by Yuta Matsumura. Terrific shot.
And the sharpshooting Japanese team.
Worth another look for sure.
And watch this stone cross the house and right into the second stone. Super line call, super sweeping.
Slow momentum, but just enough to push the New Zealand rock out of the rings.
Beautifully thrown stone by Yuta Matsumura.
So New Zealand is going to be forced to draw for a single point. Facing two, actually facing three. If that stone on the left of the picture is biting, it's close. Good news for New Zealand as Becker just threw a draw.
It's all there. Up. Back two. Well then. It's soft.
Becker thinks the weight is all there.
Back four. Whoa.
Well, sweeper's not laying a brush to it.
Soft. Keep an eye on it. It's all there, Scotty.
All there, according to Anton Hood.
And now it's getting into that curly side of the ice. The weight will come off this.
Needs to style ball by itself, and it does. A sweeper-friendly draw shot by Scott Becker for a single point for New Zealand. They're on the board, but a nice force there thanks to that double takeout by Yuta Matsumura after 2 ends of play. It's Japan 2 and New Zealand 1.
Good end. He played a great shot. I'll bring him top 2. Tight. Don't leave him tight. Yep, come on.
We're back live from the Gangneung Curling Center. It's the semifinals of the men's event at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships 2018. I'm Hans Fraulab. I'm joined by U.S. Olympian and world champion Anne Swisshelm. And Annie, Japan doing it textbook early. Score a deuce, force the one. Now they've got the hammer in 3.
Yeah, and Japan showed a ton of creativity with shot selection in the first end. The little split that they played to sit counted with second and third, but it set up the end to make the 2 with their last stone advantage a relatively routine score. And following it up with outstanding double takeout in the second end. You know, New Zealand's a little bit behind the 8 ball here. They need to put a couple of different shots together. It's so early in the game. The score is tight, but they can't afford to let Japan get out in front of them by too much.
Yeah, this Japanese team, even in the 5 rock free guard zone era, pretty good front runners, so the New Zealanders want to keep it close as they can. Take their chances when they get them. Shinya Abe. And it's playoff curling in the round robin phase. You've got lots of games in action all at the same time, and it's a bit different once we get to the final stages, isn't it, Anne?
Yeah, it can be. This is the first game that these teams have played where they're the only game in the building.
Right.
So the airflow is unique. They have been used to playing with teams on either side of them or one side and managing the board side of play if they'd been on one of the outside sheets. So everyone needing to adjust to possibly unique ice conditions, different from all of the games they played in the round robin. And it looks like both teams have adjusted well. They're icing themselves well. It's going to come down to who's throwing the right weight and communicating well, and then executing the key shots at the end of the end.
And communicating is interesting because when you're the only game out there, the sound dynamics on the ice are actually different. It kind of almost feels too quiet sometimes when you're the only ones out there.
Yeah, you're used to managing your communication over or under the teams shouting on the side, on the sheets next to you. And when you're alone out there, boy, can you hear yourself.
Absolutely. Yosumasa Tanida, the Japanese second, making a play at this Kiwi stone at the top of the rings. Looking for a bit of a roll to the wing if he can get it, and he does. Nice shot. Beauty. Great roll.
Tanida rolling to the thinnest spot on the ice underneath that corner guard.
Matsumura with an appreciative wave to his teammates. That was a beauty. Look at the spot where it rolled to. Half of the 12-foot, 3/4 behind the front stone. Tough shot here for Anton Hood.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Heck. Whoa. Heck up. Push. Positive heck. Yep.
Becker anticipating the break, but they're well by the guard. Good touch there by Anton Hood.
Yeah, great throw, Ant.
It really hung, didn't it?
Yeah, heard Anton Hood say that one really hung. Tracked a little bit of positive weight. It made its move, but it made its move late. And there you see, just by the guard. Just nudges the Japanese stone. That hack weight couldn't have thrown any more than that. Tanita now going to try to draw around that corner guard.
待てる、全然待てるよ。ありそうに見えるよ。あるあるあるある。あ、咲きたくないわ。割るなら悪くない。引っ張れる。
Want this to sit above the tee line. They haven't laid a brush to it.
New Zealand skips Becker is allowed to sweep that stone once it reaches that tee line. It does slide into the back of that blue 12-foot circle, so a chance for New Zealand to draw to it if they want to, and that's the choice for Scott Becker. Japan has last rock here in the third. Target brush just outside the center line for Simon Nielsen.
Big four, big two.
Where?
Big plus, big plus.
Whoa!
Big four. Big four, big six.
Line's getting better.
Big six.
Whoa!
Big six.
It looks up. Yeah.
Big six.
Got the beans.
About back line weight.
Way up. Whoa, in. Yep.
Stays in the rings.
Luck side. Let
Just
them sweep you down to it, buddy.
3 or 4 extra feet of weight for Simon Nielsen.
Yeah, and that's the difference between, you know, a great shot and just not
Okay
enough
shot.
production.
Right. Yeah, you always want to give your sweepers a chance to help you with the shot if you can. Stones are deep in the rings for Tetsuro Shimizu. Longtime third player for Yasuki Morizumi's team. Now
Yeah, this
playing
is a
with Yuta
new look
Matsumura.
lineup here.
Gets a nice roll to the center. Very nice shot by Shimizu, getting good separation between his stones. Great shot. That sets up the deuce. There's Tetsuro. Yeah, new combination, but they've had good early season success, and they've played really well here.
They had one loss in the round robin. It was to Team China, but again, statistically, they're on top of the entire field in
No
every
sit there.
position, and it's something to take note of when you're watching this team, how they operate.
It's Anton Hood.
Yeah, doing a little recovery from the sweep. So Team Japan does everything very specifically. They do things very similarly, if not the exact same, from shot to shot. Their communication and sweeping is really second to none.
Little inside roll there. They weren't really looking for that.
Whose shot is it? Mine.
Yours. There we go.
Bumper? Nosing's fine, but I'd love to get a wee roll towards them. Just a wee roll, Dobby.
Roll.
Foam bumper, just trying to get a wee roll towards their stone. Just trying to get it set up for if he can nose ours.
It doesn't exist, dude.
Looking for a Scott Becker hearing the thunder that we've just heard.
Somebody would
Bit of a storm outside. Bit of play-by-play commentary by Scott Becker as he slides out.
Last bumper. Yep, yep.
Not the steadiest slide ever, but he corrected well on the release.
Whoa! Whoa!
Looking for an inside roll. I think they can hit it now if they wanted to.
Whoa! Set. Set.
Just over curled, or over rolled rather. Didn't over curl.
Real unsteady slide.
Giving himself a little coaching.
True confessions.
Yeah. And now it's a who is count.
Yes.
I mean, if he happens to be count, it was the
It was
greatest
the
hit
greatest
and
roll
ever.
Exactly. Roll behind the backstone. They're taking a long look at it. It is pretty close. You'd measure that.
Yeah, for sure.
Warren
Let's see
Dobson
if
having
Warren,
a look.
yeah, I was going to say maybe Warren will give us a clue of who he thinks.
Gee, it's close. It's close. It might be yellow.
Eh,
It's close. See the Olympic rings on the top of those stones.
This is one of those moments you wish you could have the measure right
Yeah,
now, but you
exactly.
just have to kind of guess.
Exactly.
Use all of your skills, look at all of the angles, see what you see. Who is count?
Yuta Matsumura is going to draw down into that neighborhood. In the teams I played in, there was usually one person on the team who was the looker,
Yeah, who had the eagle eye?
who had the eagle eye to say, who's
Yeah.
shot? Who is shot?
Who's got it? And there's a couple of different techniques that you can use to learn. Look at the bottom of the stone, look underneath, see the shadow.
Everybody has their secret methods.
Yes.
Good stone here from Matsumura. Sitting up high, so interesting decision now coming for Team New Zealand.
Yeah, it is available. You can see it.
You could make a play across the top, kill all three.
3/4.
Hard to see that you could actually get inside it. Well, you see Scott Becker drop the brush right beside the stone, so looks like he wants to throw some weight at it.
That way, if it makes any contact whatsoever.
There is a chance that Scott could drive red onto red on the inside, spring across the
We
top
hear
and
more,
save the
Dobby.
one in the back.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, I think that's plan A.
Right.
Plan B is double takeout.
Yes.
And if they roll out and roll everything out, I think they'll be okay with that at this point.
Dust off nose makes it. Yep.
Now Becker's going to be looking for a nice control, smooth slide here.
Yep. Got it. Hard. 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 You got it hard.
There's one, there's two.
Go, Dobby. Go,
Spills the red and it's going to spill out of the rings. Nice shot by Scott Becker.
Fantastic shot. Kills all of them and prevents 2 points hanging against New Zealand on the scoreboard.
But the only thing that could have been better about this shot for New Zealand was preserving the yellow at the back, but that was just about as good as they could do. Had to come quite near the guard to make this shot. And clips the red, spills it across, and now it's a blank attempt coming for Japan. No 2-point end for them here. Yuta Matsumura looking to hit the New Zealand stone and roll out to preserve last rock advantage. He's got no contact yet. No, he just grazes it, and it is an unlikely steal of one for New Zealand. Matsumura blows the blank attempt by, clipping the New Zealand rock, and it's a steal for the Kiwis. After 3 ends of play, we are tied at 2.
広いあっち行ってる時も1本目広がってっちゃったでしょもう1個攻めれる
Top. Yeah, see. Just see. Have a look.
2
4-2. This one looks more positive. 2. Don't let it over curl. Go close side. Make sure he's on the brush. Right back to the brush. Yeah, that's a lovely weight, Dobby. Thank you.
We're back live at the Gangneung Curling Center for the semifinals of the men's event at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships. What a turnaround on that last shot of the third end. Japan on the blank attempt. Yuna Matsumura steps the weights up, floats it a bit wide, grazes the New Zealand stone, and out of nowhere, it's a steal for the Kiwis, and the game is tied at 2. Whole new game.
Yeah, it's a whole new game. And the overall tournament accuracy for Warren Dobson at 88%. He's having a great week.
Freezing this one. Whoa, it's got to be.
He is matched up head-to-head against the top lead in the field.
Whoa, whoa.
That would be Shinya Abe.
Okay, Dobby. Let him sweep you down. Yep.
Dobson has been very steady this week for the New Zealanders.
Yeah, and you'll see 92% for Shinya Abe. The veteran on this team, but just the steadiest lead out there. And the key to that for these teams is that they make tactical decisions, game plans before the end starts, even before the game starts. And it's all up to the lead, Abe, to set the table for Japan, and it's the same responsibility for Dobson for New Zealand. And when they don't execute, game plan out the window. Gotta restart, rework all of your plans.
Nice hit and roll there from Shinya Abe. Abe has skipped a fair bit in his curling history, and he does line read for Yuta Matsumura, so Shinya has great feel. Anton Hood, 79% for the week at second. Big step up for Anton, only 18 years of age. He's played some international junior curling for New Zealand. He's been an alternate on the open men's team, but really looking to make a contribution in this bid for the New Zealand men to reach a World Men's Curling Championship for the first time in 6 years. 7 years.
Sweep, guys. Great sweep.
Yeah, great sweep. Corner freeze. Just frozen to the corner of that Japanese stone. Just rubbed the guard going by. Last World Championship appearance by a New Zealand team is 2012. That was in Basel. Tanita, 86% for the week. Super solid.
Working hard to hold the line.
Oh, nice inside roll.
Look at that.
Super shot.
That'll get statted at 100% for Tanita. And it's
Exactly.
all in great thanks to the sweepers,
Yeah,
Abe
you're right.
and Shimizu.
Yep, good line read by Matsumura. Nice brushing by Shimizu and Abe.
You got to get enough because you're only
And there's the
catching
result.
that thin. If you can hit it there and just leave yours there, push that out and roll yours to there. No, I like bumper. Even if you spin them both across the house. Yeah. Bump.
I agree with you, Scott. And Hood saying throw hack, but I think if you throw hack, you run the danger of leaving the stones high. Scott Becker wanting to get a bit of separation between those top stones, so he's asking for board weight.
Bump up. Yap hard.
Little outside in release from Anton Hood on this one. It's going to be close to the guard.
All over the guard, I think.
Oh, he just feathered it. They were caught in between the choice there.
Why do we go off there, Scott?
Hey?
Why do we go off there?
Catch go.
What?
Why do we go off it?
Catch the guard. You get on the inside edge of that nose, mate, you just tear the yellow out and then they're lined two reds behind guards.
So good to clear up and good response by Scott Becker.
Yeah,
Anton Hood said, why didn't you sweep it by? And Scott says, well, if we get by that, we would have just gone across the nose of our own, peeled our own out, and left them lying two behind the guard. So Good communication there.
And now Tanita's got a chance to set Japan up to sit 1, 2, and 3.
Japan looking to bounce back after that unexpected miss in the previous end. Things looking good for them here mid-end. Stone slides deep though, so there's an error from the Japanese. That's through the rings. Uncharacteristic.
Okay, try it again. I just think throw. That was too much weight, that one. Yeah. Just throw hack, positive hack.
For Simon Nielsen, because Anton Hood did graze that guard, there's a little bit more target area for Simon Nielsen to play with. They're going to down the weight a little bit as well.
Whoa! Whoa!
73% for Nielsen.
Close.
A little inside out on the release, so they're waiting for this one to curl. Now it's making a move.
Yep. Whoa! Whoa!
And that quieter weight, letting the rock curl. Pushes the Japanese stone out. They get some separation. That's a nice result for Simon Nielsen.
Nice throw, Simon.
Yeah, that's a great shot from Simon. New Zealand's still going to need a double takeout or another missed shot from Japan to get out of giving up 2 points the way it's set up.
Tetsuro Shimizu, 87% for the week. Very consistent player. Part of Japan's representative team at the recent Winter Olympics.
Yeah, so this is not his first championship in this building.
Knows the building, knows the rocks.
Yeah. And he knows how to throw them.
It sure does. I love watching Tetsuro throwing clearing shots. It's a thing of beauty. Scott Becker holding the target for Simon Nielsen.
Whoa! Close. Yep. Whoa!
Dobson keeping a brush on the ice. That's always wise.
Any roll? Any roll?
A little inside roll.
Nice throw, Simon.
The 2-point end still very much on for Japan.
Yeah. Japan would love to just flop back out a little bit.
Yeah. New Zealand wants to roll in. Japan wants to roll out.
Very similar shot to Tetsuro's first shot of this end. Slightly different spot on the ice.
Can afford to roll about a foot, but no more.
Yes.
Just gets to nose.
Well, now the double takeout might be available.
You can see Scott Becker lining it up. It's a bit flat, but it's probably makeable. And even if the stone rolls behind their own shot into shot rock position, not bad. So you don't have to go all out for the double. A fantastic roll would be almost as good.
Yeah.
You see Warren Dobson, lead player,
Normal.
but the vice skip, just as the Japanese do. Lead player calling the shots for the skip. Line reads.
Move. You just hit the stick and it just sits there.
Heard Scott Becker say hit the stick and it just sits there, and we did notice that in pregame practice on this out-turn side heading for the home end. A little bit straighter, outside in.
Now, it's all about a real clean release here.
Scott Becker, 74% for the week. Lets it fly. Looking for that inside roll, but not going to get it.
A little bit of a pop on that release, just a little bit. Slid so good, but just a little bit of an outside movement. Got a hair full, and as he predicted, it
Doesn't curl.
doesn't curl.
Where you throw it is where it goes. Let's
get
watch
a
that
look.
release in.
And right at the end, just a little outward momentum. And I mean, it's so subtle, it's so small, and can just set you offline enough, especially in a straighter spot when you're throwing that
Right.
kind of weight as well.
Right.
That kind of weight's not going to curl either.
Absolutely.
So you almost want to tighten up the ice,
Yeah.
throw at it, let your sweepers have a go.
Yes. Sweepers can almost move it back. It's not negative ice here. It's certainly not backing away naturally, but you hit it hard with great brushing and it almost has that effect. Stone a little bit higher in the house now for Matsumura. 85% for the week. Want to keep this one in second shot position, but ooh, they just got the little roll back. I think the New Zealanders are second shot. It's close though. It's close. Just that little roll back, and Dobson and Becker having a good close look at it.
I think they still have to go for the double takeout.
I think you're right. Scott Beckers does say I think it's yellow, but it is close.
I mean, they could choose to draw
They could, if
to
they
the
were
back
really.
eight underneath that yellow stone on the right of the screen.
But only if you're really confident that's your second shot.
But if you play this run using your yellow and should miscue on it, you're giving up 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Ann.
And if
Very
you don't
risky.
make it right, we lie second there at the moment. Oh, we do? Yeah.
Well, Scott seems to be pretty confident that their second shot.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
There's the angle he's got to hit.
Just on the brush and let it roll.
Wants to hit about a third of the inside of that red rock, and that'll spill it across towards that other one at the top of our screen.
We lie second shot. Yeah.
And even if he just rolls to the far part of the house,
Yep.
he could sit in second count underneath some staggered cover. You can see it there. So he wants to hit right where that brush target is.
If we can roll into first, we can play it.
Thought I heard Scott say, I'm not sure if this is the right call or not when he's sitting in the hack.
Yeah, it's the right call. Just make it, and it'll be the right call.
Absolutely.
Softer. Whoa. Oh, no. That's
Yeah, he just turned that out. Just flipped that one really quite wide on this one.
Makes the nose hit, but it will be a draw for 2 for Japan. No inside roll for Becker. The reason
He's just so mad at it.
He
You know,
is.
you throw so many good stones, and then all of a sudden, in this key moment where you really need it in this semifinal,
Yeah.
you just get a little awkward release. And
Yeah, my longtime teammate, I've used this semi-cliche before, but Dan must have picked it. Always said to me, toughest shot in curling is a hit and roll when you need it. And New Zealand needed the roll on that one, didn't get it, so it's a draw for 2 for Japan to put them back in the lead.
ちょっと待ちたいな。ちょっと早いよ。早いよ。
Sweeper's not laying a brush to this one yet.
かなり早い。
Needs to be
full
having a
8
piece of
foot.
the 8-foot. Dobson preparing to sweep this one. I don't think it's going to stop. No, it's going to slide deep and through the rings. It's only a single point for Japan. The struggles for Matsumura continue. Missed the blank attempt in the previous end. Free draw for 2, throws it through the rings. Only a single for Japan. They lead it 3-2 after 4.
So you make the hit and roll.
あと1秒遅くなったら多分15秒ちょうど。
6、4、 オッケー。ラインはいいよ。クリーン、クリーン。ラインはいい感じ。ウェイトだけ。クリーン。
We're live at the Gangneung Curling Center. It's semifinal Friday here at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships 2018. This is the men's 2 versus 3 semifinal, Japan, New Zealand. And Japan with their chances to break open a bit of daylight between them and the New Zealanders, but they're just not taking advantage. Throwing a draw for 2 through the rings on the last shot of the previous end, so a great chance for the New Zealanders with the last rock here in 5 to get to the midpoint of this game in a really strong place, Anne.
Yeah, this is those 2 misses back to back with hammer shots. I don't think we've seen that from Matsumura this entire week. And now that's got to be sitting in his head a little bit as New Zealand is going to try and go for it here in the 5th end.
Could it be the pressure of the playoffs telling on Matsumura?
Sure. It is a different animal out there when you get into these must-win games. There is no cushion. There's no safety net. If you do not win this game, you do not get the automatic spot at Worlds for your country.
Right.
It is not just for your team here. It's for your entire country. That is a ton of pressure. And if that thought starts creeping in there, you know, Matsumura might have a tough go, but you know, he's getting all of the help he can get. His teammates are setting everything up beautifully, as you saw Shinya Abe just throw. Perfect guard, perfect come around. Or switch that. Perfect draw, perfect guard.
Yes.
And
boys, so no bump. So 4. Ready?
One of these situations for the New Zealanders where you know that you should probably be trailing by a couple here, but you're in a fantastic chance now to really just grab this game by the scruff of the neck.
yeah, and to hold on to that momentum. And Warren Dobson did a nice job there, coming down, sitting on top, changing the angle, taking control of the angle there.
10 ends of play in these World Curling Federation events. Playing in the 5th end now. The winner to advance to Saturday's final gold medal game. Very nice shot there from Taneda. Taps the New Zealand stone back about a foot and tucks his own stone half behind the front guard.
Half. Heck, even if you roll off this one.
Yeah,
Two options.
There's lots of options here, actually. Now, the key part for Anton Hood is throwing that hack weight, that weight that removes a rock from play but keeps your shooter around in the scoring area. They're hoping that rock right there rolls underneath the corner guard, set wide on the rings.
Needs to curl. Catches the top stone.
Needs to sit.
Just a little miscommunication there on the weight.
Yeah, but again, that was overthrown by just a bit. They do accomplish, you know, kind of half the goal there, get rid of one. Hood would love for a shooter to stick around underneath that side guard on the right.
The red stone belongs to Japan. It's in shot rock position behind the center guard. Taneda looking to draw to the inside of the New Zealand stone sitting beside the shot rock. Cut off the path for the New Zealanders to promote it. They're wanting this stone to curl. Just nudges the New Zealand stone forward. Pretty good shot.
Yeah, pretty good command placement there.
Just leave yours just off nose. No, 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 no. Back button. You're literally moving that stone back onto the pin.
So Becker looking at the small time. Would you ever think about running the center guard straight back and picking off the shooter in this situation, or is this a good play?
Well, I think it's early in the end. I think you're still in the first half, and Scott wants 2 points here.
Right.
He wants to go into the halftime break with the lead, and he's willing to gamble a little bit here.
Close.
Coming down.
Anton Hood looks on.
Stone has tons of curling to do.
It's got a piece of the red. It's going to nudge it.
Okay. Try and change those angles up a wee bit.
Well, a couple of options here for the Japanese. They can double off the yellows on the outside. They can hit their own onto the yellow. They would lose their red in the process doing that. Hit and roll across the top. It's another option. Seems to be what they've chosen, Ann.
Yeah, and if this stone should run on them a little bit, they do have the option of trying to play the double.
Tetsuro Shimizu. It's going to be an inside roll. Oh, they're stacking up now. It's getting super dangerous for the Kiwis. Super dangerous.
Back line.
New Zealand does have last rock,
We just need to change these angles.
but this is looking scary for them.
Bad for us here.
You're absolutely right.
Everything's bad for us right here.
It's ugly.
We're shot stone, but everything's bad for us right
Even
here.
if you clip that guard, if you're wide, we'll just play a little tip on that.
The reason it's bad, Ann?
Back line.
Well, Japan completely controls all of the access at this point to that smaller part of the scoring area, the 4-foot, that red 4-foot circle. And this is absolutely wide. I mean, nowhere near where this stone needs to be.
I'm hoping for some contact, but I don't think they're going to get it. It's going to slide deep and possibly through. Trouble now for the Kiwis.
Okay. Good luck, mate. Just a wee bit full there.
You get the sense that Matsumura, you know, he knows the tap, tap, tap is there.
Yeah.
Question about when do you want to pull the trigger? Do you want to do it on this shot? Or do you want to save it for one more shot?
I think they need to take it while it's readily available.
I agree.
この2つがここに残ってくれればこれがちょっと開いても
Only possible downside for Japan. These stones are all locked up right now. The Kiwis have got nothing, frankly. And you move the rocks around and maybe you create a shot that's not there right now for the New Zealanders.
ここに1個は
Thinking about freezing.
これ押しちゃってここになってもそんな悪くない、でちょっと下がればこっちはいつでも取れるようになるからショットにもなるしここにフリーズだったら一番いいよ
At this second, really the only decent shot that the New Zealanders have to score is to draw to the button on this in-turn side. So Matsumura is looking to take that away. Coming down this path, sitting in front of his own stone. Here's Coach Bob Ursel. What do you think he thinks about this call, Annie?
I wish I was a mind reader. I wish I was a mind reader and I could get inside there and know what Bob Ursel wants to do. But Japan wants a stone full into the 4-foot. Remember, they're all just biting the 4-foot. So I think they'd like to.
Oh, they just nudge their own stone a fraction further forward. Nice shot, but is there a chance now for the Kiwis to double them off? They might lose their yellow one if they do make a play at it. There's Shimizu having a look. Lots of interesting angles. The Kiwis could angle tap their own on the outside, push it a bit further forward. There's Coach
that's
Peter
what I'm
Becker
looking
of
at.
New Zealand looking on.
If you could ever just do that, you're probably going to push that into the open, but if you could just collect enough of it and take it over here.
You can't do anything to hit guard.
Both teams are a little reluctant to unlock the pile, but for different reasons.
Even then, they're
Abe,
going to run it
Matsumura.
Yeah, play the one on the intern.
in. Huh?
I like the intern one.
That's the other option.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, run the guard across the face of the stone that was
But
just
that's
thrown by
running theirs
Japan.
in. So, moment it might save. No, I like doing this.
Yep.
That was my first thing. Try and push that back to there. You're just throwing back here, literally the weight you just threw.
Same way. Yep.
Try and split that one over to there and leave yours there.
Delicate shot being called here by Scott Becker for Simon Nielsen. He's asking him to throw backline. Wait. Wants to try to get almost to the nose of that Japanese stone, just around that center guard, the one that was just delivered.
Same way.
Tough shot.
Back line up. Up. Not up. Anything but up. Positive handle.
Looking for some contact, not moving yet. Now it's starting to make a move. How much contact is he going to get? Just grazes.
Okay, come luck.
That was always going to be a tough shot.
Yeah, it really was.
Weight wasn't far away from what was asked for, but
No, it was really close weight-wise.
just ran a bit straight on that intern side going away. Great chance now for Japan.
当たってもこれで止まる。
They're lying one.
これがちょっと上がる。
They've got a couple of ways to squeeze that New Zealand stone out of the picture if they want to. Question is, do they want to?
怪しいと思うんだよな。
At some point you do.
でもその位置はあんまり動かさない方がいいと思うんだよね。それか本当に出してないとこれしかないと思う。
けどショット持ってるんだよね今ね。
あ、ショットなの？あ、押したから。
押したか
They're lined up so well, you can actually save it for the last one if you wanted to.
悪くないけど。でこれまあプッシュされたらっていうところだよね。
Yeah, they're saying that if they throw the short one,
こっちが
then
ダメ
New
だ
Zealand plays a little tap.
取らすんだったら取ってもいいね。
Yeah.
これ触っても取っていいんじゃない？
Right now, that New Zealand stone on the edge of the forefoot is about the only saver the Kiwis have got.
うん、それはね、ちょっとし、
どんぐらい？
半分だからね。
ちょうど行けば確かに。
They have got that
かわせるね。何歩ぐらいでやるかだね。
stone off the edge of the rings that they could jump off, perhaps, but super low
出
percentage
すの
shot.
をしっかり出した方がいいと思う。
出し切った
8かなじゃ
Are they just going to try and pick it in? Throw peel weight? Or are they just going to try to clip the top stone and drive it up?
This is the exact spot where he missed the
true.
blank. Nearly exact spot where he missed the blank in the third end. They could be throwing a kind of control weight to hit the top
Right.
red one and run things back and move up the angles.
So it could either
We'll
clip.
see here with his kick.
Yeah. It's either clip the top red or pick the yellow directly.
Looks like a pick.
Yeah. Peel weight. Just trying to pick the New Zealand stone out. Oh, nice shot there by Matsumura. Great shot. So now it's going to be down to the draw weight of Scott Becker. 2 to come. Still a chance, unbelievably, for New Zealand to possibly score 2 if Becker could make a great shot here. There we see the pick there by Matsumura.
Perfectly thrown.
That's what he was looking for in the blank attempt a couple of ends ago.
Yeah.
Pin's fine.
Pin would be nice, to say the least. Drawing against 4.
The only other option is trying to come down and blast.
You might get rid of 2 that way.
Yeah, no, I
But
think
only
Scott,
2.
you're on it. Stick with the draw.
Just off the nose.
You're going to have to throw a draw on your last one anyways.
Possible.
I don't know,
It's going
Dobby.
to open up the draw. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's going to open up the draw. That top one is jamming all day. It's going to sit in front of the 4-foot.
Yeah, I mean, I think this would be an okay shot if you could hold your shooter over on the side of the rings and maybe give
Yeah.
yourself, I don't know, some kind
Some
of
kind of a
crazy
circus
double or
shot.
triple with your last. But the drop would give you so much more control
Kill at
with the
least
shot.
two right
But
on the pin.
this is a pretty,
Here more, Dobby. Yeah.
this looks pretty tough if you start looking at that from the hack. It's a lot of rocks in there.
Yeah, pretty sure they can get rid of 2, but hard to see them moving 3. But they're going to have a go.
Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Yep. 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 Yep.
Going to try to catch it thin now and change it that way. Just moves 1.
Yeah. That's not great.
Don't think they were ever going to do much better than that with those angles.
こっちからのドローはもう難しいわ相手は。
ヒットロールもない。
All kinds of options now for Japan. Becker was trying to hit this one about 2/3, just caught it thin, squirted across the top, was hoping to kill at least 2, but only moved 1 out of the rings.
Yeah, I just don't think they thought that through enough.
Yeah,
I
me
mean,
too.
what they were going to leave themselves,
Yeah.
they were always going to leave that 4-foot completely guarded.
Right,
And
フォーマーで押す感じ。
right. If the objective was to give yourself a shot on the last one, I don't think that was the shot choice.
内側にアングルでついても。
so Matsumura, he's got his last shot here. 5th end, right before the half point. Japan sitting 1, 2, and 3 with full control in this end right now.
About the only really bad thing that Matsumura could do would be to wreck on the center guard. Other than that, not too much that can go wrong with this shot as long as he's got something relatively in play.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing he could is over curl and tap on an inside to outside angle and give
Something would have to go horribly
New
wrong.
Zealand some backing.
He was heavy on a draw to the house earlier, so let's see what his draw weight command is here.
Looks like they're
Just happy to throw a guard.
right down into the rings.
Lying 4, taking away more of the 4-foot as well. Nice shot. So, New Zealand, what do you play? Inside triple? Red, red, red. Catch it thin. Might score that way. Question is, can he get inside enough around that center guard to make that shot?
Yeah, it almost seems like your shooter will roll right up and out of the rings with the amount of weight you need for that shot.
Yeah, you'd have to catch the top one super thin. It's going to be a draw. So, Scott Becker's saying, well, we have to get around that stone that Matsumura just threw. If he gets by that one, it will curl enough to get to that red 4-foot and maybe score. Just throwing his target area is about 2 centimeters square. And if he ever...
The ice is going to be exactly the same it always is. I'm just going to throw a nice 25 and you boys are just going to... You'll have to wade off it though because it's going to hang out here. And then Simon, you go close.
Yeah, good confident tone from Becker, reassuring his sweepers. Last out here is just good for the draw.
Yeah, and this
Put it on the
is
tee line.
the skip's job.
Throw it on the tee line when you need to. Drawing against 4.
31. Fight felt good. He's being.
Geez, a good sign. This is still moving outward, though.
Time to being. Make sure it's round. Whoa!
It's absolutely around. Are they there is the question.
One's real good.
Nielsen, Hood trying to drag it deep. How far can they get it? Well, they cut down the damage, but it is going to be a steal of 2 for Japan. Yep, agreement on the score. Just a bit conservative there. Could have gone earlier with the sweep. It's a steal of 2 for Japan. And that gives them a 5-2 lead at the midpoint of our game. We'll be back after a short break. First end of play, Japan with last rock advantage here in this semifinal game. Yuta Matsumura just has to draw full 12 foot to score 2. Makes it easily, and Japan open with a pair. In the second, New Zealand's Scott Becker facing 3, needs to draw it full 8 foot. Stone comes to rest just past the tee line for a single point for the Kiwis. In the fourth end, Japan already lying 1. Matsumura has to draw the 8 foot to score a pair. But this stone is heavy. Dobson sweeps it deep and through, so it's only a single point for Japan. After 5, it's Japan 5 and New Zealand 2.
But also look for a chance if late in the end and we're sitting really good. Maybe sometimes, okay, guard. Right? Don't think we've got to always be clearing. So look for an opportunity, but yeah, let's try to bring the play into the house. Okay. Clear them up, force them to a point, and then you guys are playing really well. Really well. Good draw weight.
Playing it tight. Feeling that it's going to be slightly overthrown, so you just need them at the front of the house, not at the back of the house.
Yeah, we need it best for the front. We're going to have a piss.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, keep it going. No, you're going well. It's, you just, yeah. This time you're going to need some, some guards, I suppose.
Yeah, no, I agree. I fully
They're
agree.
going to be blasting everything.
Here are the halftime stats. Japan with a clear statistical advantage, 2 stolen points in that fifth end. Huge in this one. That gave them a 5-2 lead. New Zealanders are hanging in, but that big steal of 2 giving Japan control at the halfway point of this game. Winner goes on to the gold medal game and also directly qualifies their nation for the World Men's Curling Championship. Welcome back live to the Gangneung Curling Center. Semi-final Friday here at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships 2018. I'm Hans Frauenlob. I'm here with U.S. Olympian Ann Swisshelm. Japan with that big steal of 2 and 5 and really grabbing control of this game, and big end coming up here for the New Zealanders if they're hoping to claw their way back.
Yeah, there was a bit of opportunity with a couple of misses from the Japanese skip Matsumura that gave New Zealand a little bit of confidence, and they went boldly into that fifth end and just didn't get the execution they needed to stick with their tactics and strategy. And then I think we saw a small mistake from Becker on his first stone, and now Japan is up in the line score. They've got a 3-point lead, and the goals for them are very clear. And Shinya Abe, the #1 lead in the tournament at 92%, is doing himself a little bit better here with 100% today.
I'm glad you said it. I never like putting the commentator's curse on somebody when
Well, I don't think they can hear us.
No, fair
As
enough.
powerful as I am, I don't think that I'm going to impact Shinya Abe at all.
Well, that's not going to hurt the perfect day so far for Abe.
Yeah,
Nice shot.
And the perfect day continues. The no-hitter continues
Yes,
for
indeedy.
Abe.
Warren Dobson struggling a bit. He's made some nice shots.
Whoa. Let it bend off that line.
5 rock free guard zone though, Anne, and it'll be interesting to see if the New Zealanders really load them up here.
Yeah, well, they have to. I mean, there's just no option. You've got 5 ends left in this game. You're down in the scoreboard. You do have the last rock advantage here in the 6th end. So only upside to Japan stealing some points on you in 5.
Right.
Is that Becker and his company are going to get the hammer. All things moving nicely in 6, in the 8th end, and again in the 10th. And that's what you've got to be thinking. Take 2 points here, hold 1, take 2, hold 1, take 2.
Yep. That gets you to an extra end. That's the formula. So New Zealand now presumably will stack a second guard or throw a corner. See which way they go. Some teams would elect to throw a second guard on the same side, and New Zealand is electing to throw a corner guard on the other side. Both are valid options.
Yeah, and I think they're just, this is a bit of a gamble, right? You're leaving those 2 stones in the top of the forefoot, but you have to. And you're going to try and get as much separation and make the double peel as difficult as possible. And I think this shot selection speaks to how much respect they have for Team Japan and their ability to clear stones out of play.
Yeah, Tanita and Shimizu, both exceptional at the big weight clears. But here's where the free guard zone rule, 5 rock free guard zone rule comes into play. Last year under the 4 rock free guard zone rule, Tanita would be clearing her corner guard. 5 rock free guard zone rule, can't do that just yet. 80% for the game for Tanita. Means that teams without last rock have to make a different shot choice on this 5th stone of the end than they did last year. It means more rocks in play, generally. Three Japanese stones stacked along the center line. Little tightrope there.
Yeah, that rock slips a little deeper than they wanted. Now New Zealand has a chance to hit and actually roll a stone onto the rings.
Can really roll either way. Anton Hood, he's got 2 corner guards up. 75% for the match. Wants to save the shooter here. Switching gears now. Looking for rolling the other way. They do unlock the Japanese stones on the forefoot as well, pushing a stone out to the wing. So that's a pretty good result there for Hood.
Yeah, that's a great result for Hood. I know it's not exactly how he wanted it to go, how they drew it up, but
at some point you were going to have to move those Japanese stones in the forefoot though, weren't you? So
yeah, and getting that taken care of as early as you can is a benefit.
Tanita now being forced to play the New Zealand stone in the front 12 foot. He's looking to roll it back on the rings. Oh, very nice shot from Tanita. Replaces the guard effectively with that
precision execution.
Same weight you just threw.
Becker looking for Anton Hood to once again play that quiet takeout weight, hit the top stone, control the roll of his delivered shot, wants to roll it somewhere on the rings, hopefully behind cover. There's the roll.
Oh, you guys got to call that sweep. That
Absolutely
has to be
right.
called. Every inch is critical.
Okay, nice throw, Zan.
Wound up hiding a quarter, needed to roll that one a little bit further to get some protection.
Now let's see if Tetsuro can match Yoshida's accuracy on this hit and roll back to center.
Shimizu waiting for this one to curl, catch it pretty thin. They're going to get the roll. They don't get the center protection anymore, but it does roll to the wing into Well, second job position.
Yeah, and now it is opportunity for New Zealand to take advantage of the corner guard that's up there.
New Zealand set 2 corner guards. Time to use them.
Top house is fine.
Not worried about being in shot rock position here. Just want to get some cover. Simon Nielsen.
Weave it for line.
He's made some nice shots, but he's also struggled a wee bit with weight control. A little bit heavy on a lot of shots today, Simon. This one's going to come to rest
Weave it in. Yep,
just past the tee line.
Okay.
Simon just taking his sweepers out of the game a little bit. Just that 3-4 feet heavy with every draw. Ice here is really quick. Conditions been fantastic.
Yeah.
And lots of curl, super quick,
And that super curl, lots of curl. With that, you can see that stone is completely hidden underneath the corner guard, but it is still accessible to Tetsuro Shimizu with the right amount of weight. Look at how ready those sweepers are. They are absolutely
Abe's like a cat,
ready.
to pounce.
They know when they're going to be needed.
Nice shot from Shimizu.
Beautiful shot, great communication, everybody where they need to be, doing all the jobs. Super shot, Shimizu.
There's Yosemasa Tanita. Good brushing there from Team Japan.
Yeah, now Simon Nielsen gets a chance to make that shot even better. You can see why they need it higher in the rings.
Line's tight.
Perfect spot here for Nielsen would be full in the front 8-foot circle behind cover. Becker was a bit concerned about the line, but the line seems just fine. Becker's worried about it actually popping out the other side. They do want to be at least second shot.
Okay, 2.
Not sure they got second shot.
Sorry.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
They did. Nice shot.
That's a great shot for Nielsen.
Becker was looking for that one higher in the house, and Nielsen delivered. Very nice shot. New Zealand with last rock here in the 6th. They really need a pair to get themselves back in this game.
They've got the second point set up.
They do. See now why New Zealand set those corner guards. 4 foot is pretty open, and they've got their second shot well hidden behind the corner guard. So any error here from Matsumura, and the Kiwis will have their chance for a pair. Basic strategy of curling, if you've never seen our sport before, when you've got last rock, you're always wanting to score 2 or more.
Yeah, now a perfectly placed card could set Japan up for a steal. They are still in the shot position there in the top of the 4-foot circle.
Nita Matsumura, the left-hander.
Yeah, and we've seen a couple of errors from Matsumura today.
Yeah, his teammates have been awesome. It's been Matsumura that's been struggling a little bit.
It'd be surprising to see many more.
Yeah. Sweeping now to get as much curl as they can to get some cover on that stone in the 4-foot. Might have left it half open for the New Zealanders, though.
Yeah, and there's a catcher on the other side.
Yeah.
So Matsumura coming up.
Great look at it there. Half of it's open for Scott Becker.
A little bit of an opportunity here for New Zealand.
You can see Warren Dobson looking at the angles. If they hit what they can see, they can roll to the right. Well, yeah, and it's not though, Scott.
Oh,
you
Scott.
really do have to get to that
Yep.
shooter.
Yep, you've got to get it.
Fun hack.
Getting to the guard isn't going to help you
Tapping
much.
through and trying to roll in behind cover.
That's the shot.
There you go.
Lock in.
Really positive. Set yourself up to make this shot in the most perfect way as possible.
3.
75% for the game for Scott Becker, but a huge opportunity here if he can make this one.
Whoa. Close. Yep. Whoa.
Quiet wait, it's going to finish hard. They don't want to leave it too long. Looking for that roll. Oh, great shot there from Scott Becker. Beauty.
Fantastic shot.
New Zealand lies too. Just that quiet wait. Let's have another look. Anton Hood on the inside sweep, holding the line and getting that delicate little roll. Nielsen alertly sweeping it over behind that corner. One more look. Let's watch this one finish. Holding the line, hitting exactly half. That's what they were going for, and look at that roll. Perfect. Great shot. New Zealand now then, not only with a chance for a pair, but if Matsumura makes any kind of a mistake here, possible that the New Zealanders could score 3 and tie the game.
キーラインバックこうだね。
It's going to be the come around.
This is the most pressure that Matsumura's faced this entire game.
Maybe this entire week. We're in the semifinals here. And your chance to get to the gold medal game might be on the line here if you don't make a great shot.
Line 悪くないよ。クリーン。Line's good.
They like the line.
Yeah, it bends so hard right here at the end.
Sweeping now to try and bury it as much as they can, and they do get it almost completely behind that center guard.
It's a great shot from Matsumura.
Question for New Zealand. Can you make a play at it with enough weight to push it out of the 8-foot to score 3? They're going to try it.
Just got to play back line. Just tap that one back here. You can get round there. Like once you're through that hole, it's fine. It's just getting through that hole. What's that? That's about hack. Hey, there for about back line. It's inside the white. It's just back line side. It's not hack.
So Scott Becker very clear in his mind what he wants to throw. Backline weight, skinny it by that front center guard of the Japanese. Have it curl enough to get enough contact on the stone that Matsumura just threw to push it out.
Edge of it, so as long as it's curling up once it's through this hole.
And it will curl there at the end, but it will run very straight in the beginning.
Yeah, and this is nitpicking, but Scott playing backline weight. I'm wondering if even that kind of weight is necessary. Maybe just back 12.
Yeah, that's better.
He definitely wants to have enough momentum to push that red out of the 8-foot.
Yeah, you've got to move it 2 feet.
Right. Positive draw. That's a good way to think about it. Scott Becker, last stone, 6th end. A delicate but makeable shot to potentially score 3.
Stay close.
This one is tracking wide.
This looks like a little heavy.
Take the edge.
Waiting for it to curl. It feathers off the top. Oh, opportunity lost for the New Zealanders. A little extra weight, a little full, tracks wide, wrecks on the guard, and it is a steal for Japan. Disappointment for the Kiwis. Japan now taking control of this one after 6. They lead it by a score of 6-2. We're back live at the Gangneung Curling Center. It's the men's semifinal in the Pacific Asia Curling Championships 2018. Possibly a pivotal end there in the sixth. New Zealand with a really tough but makeable shot that could have tied the game. Runs a little bit wide, wrecks the guard, and Japan steals a single point. That puts them up 4 with 4 to play. Japan leading this one 6-2. New Zealand, this game's not over yet, but they'll look back at that sixth end as maybe their chance and that they could have gotten themselves into this game.
Yeah, it was a fabulous opportunity, and just
they set it up really well.
Yeah, and now that they know they can set it up, they're going to have to. They had a chance at 3. You've got to go hard for that again.
Yep.
So the double corner guards are likely what we're going to see. Warren Dobson setting that field of play.
One guard up.
So jobs are very clear. This man's going to put those stones up in front of the rings, and his counterpart, Shinya Abe, is going to try and put those stones in the rings. Japan wants all the play in the rings.
Right.
No, they don't need to score another point. They just need to hold New Zealand to single points, prevent them from scoring any big ends.
Yes, that's yes.
Because now with play in the 7th end, it's a situation where Japan knows that they can trade 2 for 1s and they can still win the game, in the sense that they can give New Zealand 2, score 1, give New Zealand 2, score 1, and you win. 2 in, nice shots there from Abe. He has had a super game at lead for Japan.
Where? Mid. Oh, looks good now. That's good. Then do it by itself, man. Just clean. Yeah. Yeah, bring it off that line a bit. Yep. Yeah, nice weights, Dobby. Thank you.
Nice shooting as well from New Zealand lead Warren Dobson. Great play from both leads. There's Dobby. Yasamasa Tanida. Winner of the semifinal game, in addition to going to Saturday's gold medal game. They also qualify their member association directly to the World Men's Curling Championship, which will be held in Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada, in early April 2019. Lots and lots and lots riding on the line in these semifinals at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships.
Come this way.
Yeah, and this is the kind of shot call that New Zealand's going to need.
Heck.
Just move those stones around. Doesn't need to take the Japanese stones out of play, but would love to move a couple of them to the back of the rings, side of the rings, underneath their own corner guards. This stone's curling so hard there.
In the row. Yep, in the row, half the row. Whoa, no, leave it on top. Okay. Good try.
Push one stone out of the rings.
And here's a bit of a change in the game plan. Matsumura in the 6th end played the stones in the rings and left the corners out there.
It nearly got scorched.
He learned he will not make that mistake here in the 7th end. Tanida being asked to play the peel.
Close to a nose hit, though. It's going to roll to the center. That actually helps the New Zealanders. In a sense, it keeps guards in play. So an error there from Tanida. Something to work with for the Kiwis.
Even if you just catch that one thin on the way through and push it back here.
Becker again looking to just move the rocks around a little bit.
No, just back line.
Just wants to push them around.
So the first one over curled a little bit. So you're seeing a bit more ice.
Clean. Back line up. That looks up.
Anton Hood.
Whoa. We're up last. Whoa. Up on the last.
That's fine. It's really making a move now.
Piece. Come on.
Definitely got a wee piece.
Yep. Yes. Yes. Sorry. I should have had you going on it.
Bit of the late sweep call there from Scott Becker for Simon Nielsen on the
Actually,
roll.
for your team, so they wanted Simon Nielsen to sweep the roll there, the shot in the top of the house that's on the left, the yellow stone.
Yeah.
That call actually should be from Anton Hood, the shooter,
Yeah.
because he's on the far end of the ice.
Yeah, you need to be clear who has got responsibility for which rock in motion and what you're expecting him to do.
Absolutely. That shot turned out really great.
Yeah, it was a very nice
For
shot there
New
from
Zealand.
Anton Hood. Absolutely right.
Yes.
Shimizu
Yes.
kills one, pushes on the inside, sits on the center. How good is that?
Oh, that's almost cruel. That's almost cruel. He's one of the nicest guys out on the ice, but that hit, tick, roll, it's pretty cruel.
Look at this. Watch where this stone rolls. Nudges his own, spills over in front of it, everything in motion, everything hiding behind guards. Terrific shot.
Yeah, and look at where this back stone stops.
Yeah, I'll just put it right on the hole.
Absolutely covering the center of the scoring area.
Flies through that hole.
So New Zealand now in a situation they did not want to be in, which is
No.
throwing big away hits.
They have to.
Yeah. Don't move rocks, you're not going to score.
Yeah, I know, but it's not really. If you just do that,
You can tell that Becker does not want to throw
even if you catch
heavyweight.
that one, just throw him back here. Back four. Yep.
Well,
Just on
in
the
Vegas
two,
terms,
push
Annie,
that back
New
there and
Zealand
just
is
try and
all
sit
in.
out
All
there.
in. Well, there's only
two
4
back
ends
four.
left to play. He's got to take 2 points here.
I agree.
He has to take 2 points here.
I agree. I like this
And
call.
with the amount of stones that are in the rings, someone is going to score. Blanking's not an option.
Right.
And blanking isn't an option given the amount of ends left to play.
Right.
Whoa. Back four, back six. It looks hot. Big line. Big line. Back six. Whoa.
We do know this will finish. Here it comes.
Come on.
Catches the top, red, pushes it. Wanted to push it behind the tee line though, and it stays in front of the tee line. Keeps the Kiwi still in the circle. Interesting call here from Japan.
Well, I think what Japan's thinking, they hit the one and the one on the 8 foot.
New Zealand's just coming in to the
New
shooter.
Zealand's going to come right down in. So if they beat him there,
これ？
うん。半分以上見えてはいるんだけど。
こういう感じ？
でもそれでセンターは触れたくない。
もう完全に当たる。
じゃあよくないよ。それはやんなくて。
An embarrassment of riches, really, for Japan.
ここでも悪くない。さっきあったとこ。
入られたところで俺ら追ってフォースはできるんだよ。
They're lying
これはね
two.
今出せないからね。
それ取っとけばいいんじゃない？
入れ。
This is the conservative play, but it is the play that takes 3 out of the equation, really, for New Zealand. Remove the New Zealand rock. Shimizu throwing the heat. He's been wanting to throw one of these all day.
yeah, and that's because they don't want to stick around. They want to get right out of play.
Pretty much vaporized the rock.
Yeah, is that rock still in one piece?
Yeah, I
Tap
think
on
it's
that,
still going.
outside Tap on that. Just sit there, be lovely. Just to move that back half a rock, but freezing down to it is great. Yep.
So the quid pro quo there for Japan playing the outside stone. They knew they would leave New Zealand.
You move it back to
A chance to come to the
fine.
shot rock.
Don't mind that. Okay.
Becker looking for Nielsen just to bump this back about a foot. Keep their own stone in front of a Japanese rock to set up a jam.
Back two. Whoa. Back four. Whoa. Back two.
That's the kind of weight they want. How's the line?
Clean. Back four. Yep. Whoa. Yep.
Good looking rock.
Whoa. Come bend. Not two only. Yep.
Want to push that rock. It was good communication from the sweepers. They said it was just front two. So it wasn't enough to bump. Perfect freeze, but Japan still lying one, so they're thinking guard.
Yeah, now Japan has to guard, actually.
New Zealand's going to have a shot, but it might be a super high degree of difficulty shot. There's a couple of yellow stones, couple of angle run-ins, couple double raises. They could go yellow, red, yellow. They could go yellow, yellow, angle. Both quite low percentage shots, but they're there. Yellow stones on the left side of our screen. Might be the only hope for the New Zealanders if Matsumura can block the path to the shot rock with this guard.
Yeah, Japan is still shot rock.
Happy to leave this one high. Comes to rest actually just in front of the rings. Is actually going to bite the rings. So that creates another option for the Kiwis. They could hit that stone back onto their own. I think for New Zealand, they know they need more than one.
Just throw. Just off nose. You've only got to throw control. Yeah.
Do you have to play this one now, Anne?
I mean, if it catches that one on the way through, it catches that one on the way through. Really, you want to take it straight back. Yeah. Straight back takes that one and rolls it onto that one.
Because if Japan played red run back, that doesn't really help themselves at all.
Yeah, I'd like to see Scott actually do something real tricky with the corner.
Me too. Try to get another yellow one in there somehow.
Real tricky with the corner, get another one in there.
Push it into the rings. Set something up.
Yeah.
Problem for the New Zealanders, they can leave themselves lying shot if he makes this shot, so that's upside.
Yeah, the one thing you might want to do here is make the double takeout on the two red ones. In the 12-foot right next to the target stone.
Right.
But he seems to be playing the run back here, which will unlock the back guard on his stone in the button.
Would leave them lying shot, however. Might be that double you were looking for. Just catches it. Almost got action on everything.
I absolutely think that is
a good result.
Fantastic shot.
Good result.
Okay.
I wish that one is
still lying in play though.
New Zealand would have loved to be lying kind of like fourth or fifth shot with that cornerstone, but it is something that they can use on their last if they had to. Let's have a look on the replay. Makes the double, and watch how close this comes to actually tickling that stone at the top of the button. They were hoping for just a little action.
Yeah, sweep that.
Almost clipped that yellow. Almost got a bit of action on it. So Japan looking to block the most obvious shot for two for the New Zealanders, which is for them to simply come down and tap their own shot. So they're going to guard this up. Pretty much the same shot that he just threw.
Did they decide on the guard, or are they going to come right in?
Well, I don't know if they come right in. It's all about line, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think
what they don't want to do is leave the New Zealanders a corner of their own shot to throw at. Trying to block the path to the center line.
Yeah, they're going to leave the in off. Say, if you make that for 3.
Yeah, good for you.
Good on ya.
So there is a potential shot for 2 for the New Zealanders here. It's a tough one.
Is there one for 3?
I'm not sure if there's one for 3, but there might be. There might be. If you can slam that one really hard and stuff it on the nose on the in-off, could kill 2 reds, could get 3.
Got to catch it by that much.
Nope. Buckle up, folks. This could be exciting.
It's just going straight into that pocket and those reds are gone.
Well, that's what Scott Becker's thinking. It's like you're trying to play a nose hit on the yellow one from a 45-degree angle. Catch this one thin, slam it into the yellow. Both reds will go, and Kiwis could score 3.
Whoa. Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Needs to curl a fraction. Oh, had to curl another centimeter, and that was made. It's a steal of 1 for Japan. So close to that 2 or 3 that the New Zealanders were looking for. Trying that cross house in off to try and score multiple points, but it's another steal for Japan. They're firmly in control of this one. 7-2 for Japan after 7. Eighth end underway here in the men's semifinal at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships. Japan now nicely in control of this game after 3 consecutive steals. They're leading this one 7-2 over New Zealand. Winner will advance to tomorrow's gold medal game and also directly qualify their member association to the World Men's Curling Championship.
All right, bring it off that line, boys. Bring it off that line.
I'm Hans Fraunlob. I'm here with U.S. Olympian and Swiss held.
Right back. Get off that draw part.
Kiwis have had their chances. They've had tough chances, but Japan are just stealing their way to control in this game.
Yeah, New Zealand opened with such strong play in the first 2 ends. They got a lead, and then Japan came on so strong, so steady. It's just been a very difficult battle for New Zealand. They're getting some things set up, but the last shots have been such high levels of difficulty. Really close, but close doesn't get you what you need.
No.
You needed to be perfect on your last shot here.
Shinya Abe continuing his stellar play this morning. He has had an absolutely outstanding game at lead for Japan. Setting the table for Team Japan. In the 5-rock free guard zone era that we are now in, lead play really makes things happen in this sport. Warren Dobson doing his job, sets up 2 corner guards for the New Zealanders.
Yeah, 2 corner guards, and they've been able to use them.
Yeah, they sure have.
But they've just not been able to capitalize.
Yeah.
So they'll try again. Now this is a 5-rock free guard zone. Japan cannot take out the stones just yet. They've got to wait 1 more stone.
The formula for Japan in defending against the hammer in the 5-rock free guard zone has been to stack them up along the center line, and they're doing it again. This one a little heavier. With that handy lead, they're wanting to keep the stones deep in the rings. They're not that interested in front stones. This stone, though, going to slide just past the tee line. Maybe something the Kiwis can use.
Oh, yeah, that is definitely not where Tanita wanted that stone. Right at the end of his delivery, he looked off to the side like something might have distracted him a little bit and just overthrew that one.
Even
And
Steven there in the seconds. Sorry to interrupt you, Heather.
Yeah,
But
no,
look at
it's
that, dead even in shooting percentage.
Quite the battle at second stones.
They're just going to start ripping guards now. So we're just keeping it back here. Back line.
Scott Becker, the veteran, knows exactly what the Japanese are going to do now. Says we need rocks in play, just move them around. The guards are going.
Good tight. Back line. Yep.
Interesting that they wouldn't use that corner guard now, though.
Yeah, or even draw around those staggered rocks on the top
Right.
of the forefoot. I don't know that you need to move these just yet, but I think this might be a little of the post-traumatic stress disorder from
Three
the
consecutive
last end.
steals. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Roll it hard. Roll
So-
it hard. Oh, sorry. Okay, great try, Ant.
Yeah, and Anton's really had such the week.
Yeah, what an experience for an 18-year-old.
Nice throw.
Got a bright future. I've heard Scott Becker in post-game interviews this week continually praising his young teammates and talking about the crop of young curlers in New Zealand who are rising in their skill levels. And Anton's one of them. Nice shot there. Tanita smoking one of those corner guards.
The other option's put it back.
There you go.
There, that's we like that, Scott.
Yeah, put it
Put
back.
it back.
You bet. You need some guards. You're going to need some miracle scores here. You've got to get 3. 3 at a minimum.
Yep, 3 force 3 is about the only formula for New Zealand here to get to an extra.
Oh, Bobby. Where?
Or 3, steal.
Yeah, that'll get it done too.
There's
Be a burglar.
But you've got, that being said, this is the 8th end. You've got last stone.
Yeah, you've got to get a pile here.
3 has got to happen here.
Right. And there is that corner guard. Nice shot.
Don't mind showing them that outside edge there.
Absolutely right.
Yep.
Matsumura immediately up to rip this corner. Shimizu, one of the best in the business at clearing. No mistake there. There's Shimizu, the Shinkansen, 93%. What a game he's having.
Back line. Hold them behind the
The
guard.
veteran, he's played a lot of top-level international, world championship, and Olympics, and players of his class bring their A game in situations that matter, and this is a situation that matters. Place at Worlds and a gold medal game at stake.
Back line, Heck. Back line. Back
Yep,
line.
we bet. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Back
whoa,
line, Ivy.
whoa.
Back
Whoa.
line.
Whoa. No line.
Back line only.
No, never a touch. Never a touch.
Back 6. Back line. Okay, well, it's getting
Back
better.
6.
Come down.
Better.
Good-looking shot here.
Whoa. Whoa. Yep, go a wee bit.
Little flop, little
Okay,
push, pretty good
try,
shot.
Just a wee bit soft. Too much ice as well.
Simon Nielsen.
前。いや、1個出していけばいいんじゃない？
そっちの黄色ピールしたらワンツーになんない黄色
Red Rocks belong to Japan. The Yellowstones belong to the New Zealanders.
あしたらあっちの黄色です
まあ、こっちから出しやすい。いや、だけど、
後ろ取っちゃったら1個だけになっちゃうよ
こうかい？
いやピールでいいんじゃないのこっちの黄色
こう？
うんうん
うん。
そうだったら俺らワンツーキープそのままいける
ワンツーだね。でもさ、こっちの
It's the debate between, is that corner guard a nuisance or not? And if it's not,
3まで持てるわ。
what do you hit? That's the safe choice, I think.
これをやられ
Well,
た
now
ら。
they're going to look at this
やだ
stone again.
だけど前割りでいいんじゃないそしたらだって俺ら
ここは？
前の位置分かってる
こっちは？
前のし勝ってるけど、あれ取ったらさ、
Only dangerous in the sense that it brings the corner guard a little bit into play.
ノーズは
Yeah.
これ？後ろ取っちゃう？これだけになっちゃう
ノーズ。かロール、
これはここに来るのが一番いいと思う。そしたらこれ高いし裏来ても。
As long as you hit the inside of that Yellowstone for Japan, you're okay. Only bad result over curling and jamming.
Yeah, so after going through all of those options, tactically.
Well, still going through options.
Yeah, I mean, I think they actually would like to pick off their one stone that's behind the tee line on the other side of the ice.
It's like a super bonus.
So this is like a double takeout. They're going to take out one of their opposition stones and maybe one of their own.
That stone behind the tee line may be usable for the New Zealanders, and it's a bit of a nuisance stone for Japan, so maybe they're looking to move that as well, but the first job is to remove the Kiwi rock. Shimizu.
Yeah.
Just more of a control weight here, looking to control the roll. Nice shot. Gets a little action, sits it behind, but pushes deeper in the ring, so that actually helps the New Zealanders a bit.
It does change the angle on where the takeout can come from.
That's true.
So now Japan, when they go to take out the Kiwi stone, they can roll to the center. And
New Zealand last rock, as Ann said, must get 3 somehow. That usually means that you're freezing to something.
You're only catching it thin, so you ever just push it across in front behind that. Just try and either roll to there or roll in front of that red there. Hack, that's going to be the dangerous
I know
stone.
this sounds insane, Ann. I'd be kind of tempted to nose freeze my own yellow one in this situation. You're going to have to make some kind of double, triple takeout to score a bundle. But they're going to make a play on the stone at the front of the 12-foot.
I think they're trying to make a double here.
Get a little bit of action
and
here.
a roll.
Okay.
Oh, yes, hard!
But
Backline weight. It's not going to hit it very hard.
and it's going to over curl and roll. Well,
it's going to push it deep.
Side, great throw. Nice weight.
Weight was real close. It was just to the hack. That's what was asked for.
They're hoping for a little bit of action on that stone to the top left of our picture, but it pushes it straight back and through. Means that there are just 2 Japanese stones in the rings now, so double takeout's easier than a triple takeout usually.
Yeah, but by playing the hit, it's going to be very difficult for New Zealand to score 3.
I agree.
2 is in play, but 3 is going to be...
I agree. That's why I was kind of thinking they might freeze on that previous shot. Matsumura will be blasting. He doesn't want to keep rocks in play at all. Only bad result here for Japan is a jam. Safely picks that stone. 2 to come for New Zealand. Again, and I know it's kind of weird. If you're going for 3, I'd be thinking maybe angle freeze the yellow, try to line it up on the back for a jam. Yuta Matsumura, 79%, out curling Scott Becker in this game. Struggled early, but has come on nicely in the second half.
Yeah, and I always say struggle. It's just...
it's all relative, right?
Yeah.
A couple of heavy draws and missing a blank attempt, giving Kiwis a steal early in the game. But Japan up and down the lineup have played really nicely. Anton Hood. Looking on, Simon Nielsen looking from the hack end just to be able to relay what he can see from the delivery end.
Well, you can get a rub off your own and roll in front, right? Like,
See, I think if you freeze
we want to
angle
freeze
yellow,
the
lining it up,
edge.
then you're forcing Matsumura to draw a third one in there to neutralize a chance of a 3.
Yeah, you need an extraordinary shot here.
Totally.
And they've gone with the freeze on the rock on the side of the forefoot.
30, you say.
The thing for the New Zealanders, even if Scott makes this one great,
Soft. Bit soft.
The logical play for Japan is always going to be hit the other New Zealand rock.
Whoa. Ready?
Oh, they're playing a little
They're going to tap on their own. That's not a bad play.
Yeah.
Just going to feather it.
Too much ice.
Yeah, they just had to wait for the curl. Too much ice, says Becker. And with too much ice, the double takeout is there for Japan.
I wonder if the double is actually necessary, and I wonder if they're just going to hit the stone on the center line and concede the 2, or the attempt at the 2.
Yeah, or if you hit 1.
The thing is, if you hit the top stone, you pop onto the second stone, you maybe jam that stone in the forefoot.
Yeah, if you hit just that one, then you stop the double.
Yeah. Japan in a situation now where they can play the scoreboard a bit. You're up 5. The only bad score for your opponent is a 3.
So it's going to be a team meeting on this one just to decide.
If you slam that right hand of the 2 yellow stones, making the double takeout, there's a couple of bad things that could happen. Over curls, jams on the back forefoot 1. Under curls, goes across the top of the second one, jams on the other one on the forefoot. Worst case, something awful could happen. You could jam on both stones. Whereas if you just play the top stone just to remove it, pick it, New Zealand would have to make a bit of a circus shot to score 2. So that does look like what they're going to play. Really just play a peel on this top stone. Just drive it through the gap.
Yeah.
To the left of Shinya Abe. To the right as we're looking at it. I think this is the smart play for Japan.
Yes. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Good shot.
And they've got the one they want.
So now, Scott Becker, how do you get 2?
You got to play a run angle double using your own stone in the top of the 8-foot.
Yep.
That's the only way you can get a 2.
Hammer that, into that, into that. That's how you get it.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's second, first and second, and you can't get the inside to get in there. So the only way to get your 2 is to take that.
Correct.
Yeah, you hate to have to throw this, but it's the shot that you've got.
That's what we're here for, right?
You know what? Have fun doing
Absolutely.
it. You know, this is a great, if you make it, it's a great, great shot.
Absolutely.
It's fun putting the rocks in play and
Fire
whacking them around a bit.
Totally. Absolutely.
Right on the line.
It's absolutely makeable. Just off nose.
He does have to throw a tremendous amount of, he's got to throw some big weight because you're redirecting. Energy's got to go through stone after stone and move across the house.
Yeah, normal up. Key thing is to catch that stone just at the front of our picture thin, the red stone. It'll redirect. Just has to push the other red stone 2 or 3 feet, and then they can score 2. Last stone on its way here in the 8th end.
Yep. Close.
Needs to curl. No, slammed it thin. It's only a single point for the New Zealanders. That brings them a little bit closer, but Japan still in control of this semifinal game after 8 ends of play. It is now Japan 7 and New Zealand 3.
over though. Yep, go. Over and stop. Clean.
Lead stone delivered by New Zealand here in the 9th end of this men's semi-final. Japan versus New Zealand. Japan 4 up with hammer here in the 9th, the commanding position. Looking to close this one out.
Yeah, and here's a chance for the sharp shooting lead for Japan to play one of the toughest shots, the tick shot.
The tick. The Weagle. It's going to skate by. No contact here on the tick attempt from Shinya Abe. Shimizu sweeping this stone. They don't want to leave it in play, so it's safely through the rings. Chance for New Zealand to stack the center guards. They're going to need to steal 2 here to have a chance.
That looks real quick.
Yeah, and one of the things you might notice that's happening here is New Zealand is slightly tight on time for 2 ends. So that means the lead and the second have got to be ready. They've got to go. They've got to play a little bit quick. And every now and then you can get, a challenging throw there. We get a look at it. Remember that thinking time. I started with 38 minutes. The clock runs while you are making your decisions. Not while you're actively playing, but while you're making your decisions. And New Zealand's down to 2 minutes, 48 seconds to play 2 ends.
That's tight, but it does mean they have to keep things moving along. And for those new to our sport, the consequences for the team that runs out of time, you lose the game. That stone is in the free guard zone, so this one will come back. It goes out of play.
Yeah, so Shinya Abe, for the first time in the game, has a couple of misses.
No, mid.
That's the impact of the free guard zone rule. You can move an opponent's stone, but you cannot move it out of play. That one went out of play, so the guard comes back. Chance for the New Zealanders now, 2 center guards up to start building that steal that they need.
Okay, bring him around that one.
Anton Hood looks on.
Whoa, it needs to be in. Yep.
Gonna stack a 3rd guard.
Whoa. Stagger him up. Okay, thank you, Anton.
What'd you think about going in on that shot in rather than the 3rd guard?
Yeah, I liked going in. I liked putting something right on the 4-foot, even top 8-foot underneath. The guards were in a nice position with lots of distance. They actually created easier access by adding that 3rd guard up there.
Tanita now.
He wants all 3 of these and the shooter gone.
Sure does.
So they're not sweeping. It's running a little straight, so they're only going to get the 1.
Yeah, Kiwis dodge a bullet. 2 guards live.
Put it back.
Well, still again going to stack that 3rd guard. It's a patience game.
It is. It's
But, you got to steal 2. Got to get one in there sooner or later. It'll be later. Anton Hood being asked to throw a guard.
And this guard, this is a tough ask. It's got to trip just over the hog line into the field of play.
Yeah, can't be deep. Want to be just over.
It's starting to slow down.
It's over. That's a nice shot from Anton Hood.
That's
Throws
a nice
it there
shot.
cold. Nice shot right on the center line as well. Tanita again.
Yeah, so he gets a 2nd shot at this.
There is a possibility the way they're angled. If he 3/4 on the outside, could kill all 3. Would have to hit it very hard and very thin to make that, though. There's
Let's
1.
be close.
There's 2. Almost 3.
Almost 3. That's a danger of adding that extra stone up there.
Nice shot from Tanita.
Yeah, beautiful throw. Nice adjustment from the first one.
Tanita also a member of our all-hair team. Looking good out there and throwing great.
Yes.
Long's better. Long's better.
New Zealand wants big separation between these guards.
Make sure they're lined up. to that line if you can, Dobby.
They'd like to get it to the center line, but they also don't want to sweep it closer to the other guard.
Simon.
So now 2 guards there instead of 3 as Simon Nielsen looks on.
Yeah, and they're well stacked.
Shimizu's going to try the double clear, go across the top.
Yep.
Bang!
And he's got it.
And even though he hit that stone almost on the nose, he hit it so hard, his own stone rolled almost out of play.
So hard, so much momentum that the shooter gets all the way to the side of the field of play.
What a weapon to have players like Tanita and Shimizu in your lineup when you've got a lead.
It's fine.
They can rearrange things in a hurry with a couple of missiles. They really fire it.
Bend the back.
Situation for Japan here, they're super happy just to keep it open.
Nice throw, Simon.
All they want to do here in the 9th end is score, and that would pretty much put it away. Even a single point.
Yeah, and now it is a very clear field of play so long as Japan continues with these peels.
There goes another guard. Nice shoving from Shimizu in this end. Double clear with his first, nice peel with his second. Good execution. There are Shimizu and Tanita, the Hammer brothers. Scott Becker going to throw one more guard and hope for a nose hit or a miss. Brief discussion about going around that stone on the wings, but Becker saying even if you got around it, you're running out of rings, so it's pretty useless as far as an attacking opportunity goes.
It's fine, it's fine. It's all about getting on that centre line, mate. On the line.
Anton Hood, as instructed, guiding it onto that center line. No prizes for guessing the shot choice here for Matsumura. It will be a peel.
Yep, it's the peel.
Terrific execution in this end by the 2nd and 3rd players for Team Japan. Let's see if Skip Matsumura can make a peel. No problem there. Nice shot. Wide open rings for Japan.
Yeah, everything happened for Japan with double peel, and lose the shooter.
Yeah, great shooting.
Yeah, that looks good, I think. Yeah.
So now New Zealand, with 1 minute left on their time clock, will take a look at going to the wing. I would say just by the state of the time clock, New Zealand is thinking this is probably the final end of the game.
Yeah.
44 seconds.
44 seconds is
it's going to be hard to play 8 shots in 44 seconds in the 10th end.
It's all there, Dobby. Back four.
Yeah, see that.
New Zealand have fought well, and Japan just the better team this morning, but New Zealand had their chances, just couldn't close them out. This stone is actually going to slide through the rings, and so no steal for the Kiwis. And as Matsumura goes down the other end to either throw through or draw for his one, doesn't really matter. I suspect you might as well draw for the one in this situation. I suspect New Zealand will concede defeat.
Yeah, and we talked at the beginning of this game, Japan coming in the top of the statistical standings, not the top of the round robin standings, but having played so consistently, so steady, they just put so much pressure on New Zealand, and you know, it's just difficult to contend with.
Yeah.
But this is a great setup for New Zealand moving forward. You know, the future is now for the New Zealand team.
Yep.
They'll
Qualifying.
play for the bronze medal likely.
Yes, they will. They'll also play in the World
And-
qualifying event, so New Zealand will have another opportunity to qualify for World Championships. Japan drawing it into the circle for their single point, and New Zealand are indeed conceding defeat, so it will be Japan moving on to the gold medal game at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships 2018. Defeating New Zealand here this morning in the men's semifinal, Bob Ursel, happy coach of Team Japan. Japan too strong for the New Zealanders this morning. Who will they face in the gold medal game? We'll know that later today in the other semifinal being played, but Japan advance. They also qualify for the World Men's Curling Championships. The nation of Japan will have a team in Lethbridge. Fist pumps from Matsumura. Semifinal victory here for Japan at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships. It's a terrific feeling in this event to win the semifinal game. The semifinal is almost as important as the final here at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships. Get your nation a place at the Worlds. Action from the fifth end of this game. 4 Japanese counters facing New Zealand's Scott Becker. He's trying to draw a piece of the forefoot around the pile. A great line, but it comes up just short, and it is a steal of 2 for Japan. In the 7th. New Zealand trying the in-off, trying to jump off that stone on the side and slam their own counter. Desperate attempt to try and score 3, but it just goes behind the target rock. And it's a steal for Japan. In the 8th, trying a raised double takeout, New Zealand desperately needing multiple points. Just a single for the New Zealanders. And in the 9th, Japan scoring a single point. New Zealand conceding defeat. Japan 8-3 winners, and they are off to the gold medal game here at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships. This was how it all stacked up in the round robin phase. China qualified top. They were unbeaten at 8-0. Japan were right behind them at 7-1. Japan have advanced. New Zealand, Korea were the other playoff teams. Chinese Taipei, Hong Kong, Australia, Kazakhstan, and Qatar rounded out the field. And here's how the playoffs are stacking up. Japan have now advanced to the gold medal game. Who are they going to face? Is it going to be China or is it going to be Korea? That game coming for you later today. The loser of that semifinal game will meet New Zealand in the bronze medal match. The Olympic venue, the Gangneung Curling Center here at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships. Qualification event for the World Championships. We'll have more semifinal action for you later on today. Women's semifinal and the other men's semifinal yet to come here on Semifinal Friday. in Gangneung. Let's send it down now and talk to the winning skip.
Fantastic win. You're on to the gold medal game. How great were your teammates today?
いい勝利だったと思いますけども、今日はチームメイト、どう思いますか？
もう最高のパフォーマンスと、あと途中はチームメイトに助けられたので、いいゲームになったと思います。
Yeah, I got a good support from teammates, and also this was a great game.
Japan will be playing at the World Championship. Is that what you wanted from this weekend? And are you looking forward to it?
世界選手権の切符を手に入れましたけども、それは狙っていたことでしょうか？それと、楽しみにしていますか？
もちろんそのために戦ったので、そこまでまた頑張りたいと思います。
Yeah, we are here for the ticket for the Worlds, and we're really looking forward to it.
Good. Congratulations. Well played. Good luck in the gold medal game.
Thank you.
A very happy Yuta Matsumura of Team Japan. Thumbs up from Yuta. They're into the gold medal match. Japan, who will they face? We'll learn that later on today. For Ann Swisshelm, I'm Hans Frauenlob. Thank you very much for joining us from the Pacific Asia Curling Championships.